Whether you're an experienced freediver or you're just getting started in the sport or you're curious to learn a little bit more, in this video I'm going to give you 10 tips to keep in mind to freedive safely. My name is Marianto. I'm a Molchanovs freediving instructor and ambassador, and in this video we're going to cover a few tips to practice freediving in a much safer way. The golden rule: never freedive alone. And this doesn't mean asking a friend or your grandma to look over you at the pool or when you're diving to make sure everything's okay. This means that the person that is diving with you or watching over you knows what to do and how to handle a safety or a rescue situation. How to perform a rescue and freedive safely is something that we cover in all of our freediving courses. You can check out a Discover Freediving experience if you're just curious and want to get started, and go ahead into your Wave or Lap 1 course as a beginner freediver. Don't hyperventilate. If you saw movies from the 80s or 90s, you might have noticed that divers would hyperventilate before their dives. We now know this is not something you want to do. It actually is counterproductive to your breath hold and being efficient with your oxygen. Something really important is becoming aware of your breath, aware of your breathing muscles. You can do this by, in your day-to-day life, just having a few moments of mindfulness. You can also sign up for the Foundational Breathwork course with Alexei Molchanov. It's a great course that will help you not only for freediving, but just overall general stress management and awareness of our body. Don't overweigh yourself to make the dive easy. Remember, all that weight that you're bringing down, you're going to have to push all the way up. So instead, make sure your buoyancy is set at a comfortable depth that will allow you to be efficient both on the way down and on the way up. Never ride your ears. Remember, these are like little diamonds that you have, and you really want to take care of them. Riding our ears and pushing our eardrums can cause harm. Maybe you're not going to have borrowed trauma, but you can cause inflammation, and it's going to make your dive less pleasant, much shorter, and probably not be able to dive the next day. Instead, make sure you practice equalization on dry, so when you're in the water, you can equalize comfortably and safely to the depth you desire. If you're having issues with Frenzel or you want to learn how to equalize, make sure to check out the Frenzel Fundamentals program as part of our BT Plus catalog.
Remember that it is only when your equalization is smooth and easy that your dives can be relaxed.
Removing your snorkel from your mouth. This is something that a lot of us do, or a lot of us did, before we actually learned how to properly freedive. It's something that, when you're diving and you're going to see a fish, you just kind of hold your breath and dive down. But what happens when we have our snorkel in our mouth is that the water floods the snorkel and enters our mouth. Now our glottis is closed, so it can't enter our lungs. But let's say you're taking away that extra layer of protection. Instead, make sure you remove your snorkel, close your mouth, and then begin your dive. Another thing to consider is if you're coming up from your dive with your snorkel in your mouth, you're going to have to push really hard all that water out. And that change in pressure can be so abrupt that it can cause you to feel dizzy, or if you're low on oxygen already, have a blackout. Equipment. Having the right equipment is incredibly important to make your dives safer. Not only will you be more efficient and save more oxygen, but you're going to be much more comfortable and relaxed. The most important piece of equipment when it comes to safety is, of course, wearing a lanyard. The lanyard will keep you safe attached to the line. Another piece of equipment that can come real handy and is really good when it comes to safety considerations is a pulley. The pulley will allow for whoever needs to pull up the line in case of an emergency to do so safely and much more efficiently. A very important piece of equipment as well is a buoy. Make sure your buoy is very bright, and ideally have a flag or something that can signal boats that you are in the water. Many times there can be heavy boat traffic, and it's really important to stay near your buoy so they can definitely see you if they're going by. Many times locations have a lot of heavy traffic, and being close to your buoy and making sure your buoy is visible is essential to make sure you stay safe. Get to know the location where you're diving. It can be for a fun dive or it can be for line training, but you have to be aware of the conditions. Is it going to be rainy or choppy that day? Is visibility good? Is it bad? Is there lots of current? Is there an undercurrent? All these factors must be taken into consideration to make sure your dive is safe. This includes being aware of boat traffic in the area. Now, if you're a scuba diver and a freediver, you might want to do these two activities, and you can definitely do it. but the order in which you do them is super, super important. So make sure that you free dive before and then you go scuba diving. Never ever go free diving after a scuba diving session. This is incredibly important to avoid any issues when it comes to DCS and having nitrogen in your system. Also, if you're free diving and you happen to dive down to see a lot of scuba divers, never ever take air from them. They might be tempted to offer it to you. Make sure you say no thanks and come back up. If you take air, you risk having lung overexpansion on the way up. So if you do, which again, never do that, you have to become automatically a scuba diver. That means you stay with them and you ascend in a safe scuba diving manner, making the necessary safety stops and with a lot of caution. Take your surface intervals seriously. Remember, the duration of your dive and the time you take to prepare for your next dive is very, very important. You don't want to come up and down without having proper recovery time. So make sure to keep track of time with your dive computer and do this safely. That's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this short video and that you continue to free dive in the safest possible way. Remember, you can check out a Discover Freediving experience or a lap wave 1, 2, or 3, or 4 if you are into competitive freediving. And I hope to see you again next time. See you underwater.